Well, thanks, Samir, Cynthia, Hillary, Katrina, and Lynn. That was really an insightful conversation, and it's encouraging to hear about the many initiatives supporting our mission to protect investors and foster a fair and efficient capital market in Alberta. I'll just digress for one moment. Samir alluded to how these stories out of enforcement always seem to be what people are quite interested in. I'll digress for a moment by saying when I first was seconded to a securities regulator, I was a partner in a national law firm, and I thought that was a pretty good position. And then I told the family that I was going to take on this secondment, and our young kids at the time said, "Oh, Dad, that's so cool, Securities Commission. Do you get to wear a badge? Do you have a uniform? Do you carry a gun?" Like, it was definitely the salacious part of the job that really seemed to intrigue them. I think we do a lot of other cool things too, but this enforcement stuff's pretty interesting, I must say. And I think when Cynthia told me that they had found this guy Atkins in the US, I think I opened up with my email saying, I think it was that Clint Eastwood line in one of his movies, "Thanks for making my day." It was just a terrific kind of capture, so to speak, or at least a retrieval for now. Well, it's really my pleasure to just take a moment to reflect on our day together before we move into our reception. And I'd really like to start by thanking you, our audience, for attending and participating at ASC Connect 2024. This event is special because of your presence and your engagement. And I hope you found the sessions valuable and informative, and that you had an opportunity to connect with others. ASC Connect creates a unique opportunity to facilitate crucial conversations amongst us, market participants, academics, entrepreneurs, industry leaders, and ASC leaders. Today we heard from you in addition to learning from our esteemed colleagues, experts, leaders, and academics who led us through thought-provoking discussions. They certainly gave me food for thought, and I hope it was the same for you. As I said earlier, we live in interesting times, which are full of challenges, but there is also great opportunity. As both Samir and Peter said, there is so much richness here in Alberta, and we individually and collectively can take action and create collectively a much brighter future. Alberta has one of the most important capital markets in Canada, and at the ASC we are taking action in a variety of ways. I will mention just a few. We monitor local and global trends that influence our markets and consider possible implications for our market as we implement our strategic plan and look ahead to the future. At the foundation of our strategic plan is a commitment to protecting investors, delivering practical and intelligent regulation, and fostering a market that facilitates economic growth for Albertans. We believe in industry and stakeholder engagement through a variety of avenues, including events like today, and by forming advisory committees with experts from our Alberta market. Our most recent addition was the Technology and Innovation Advisory Committee, which contributed to our AI in Capital Markets panel today. Through collaboration, we harmonize regulation by working closely with other securities regulators across Canada as a member of the Canadian Securities Administrators, and I'm very pleased and honored to be currently serving as the chair of the CSA. I also do want to give a shout out to the Secretary General of the CSA Secretariat who's with us here today, Laura Bellany. Laura, will you please stand up? Please, yes. People talked about how, and Trevor Toom alluded to this, the importance of trying to harmonize our regulation. We have 13 different provinces and territories having to come together and trying to harmonize our rules. It's not an easy task, but in my view, It's a critical and an essential task, and you need to know Laura and her team at the Secretariat are a huge part as to why we are succeeding. So thanks, Laura. They'll be with us at the reception, and you can all buy them a drink. It's on the house. So thanks for being with us. We also strive to reduce regulatory burden where possible to ensure we continue to foster innovation and promote market efficiency for the benefit of our capital markets. Our regulatory work is complemented by our continued effort to protect investors and market integrity through effective compliance, oversight, enforcement, and education, which you learned a bit more about today. Now, let's get a little more specific. There were a few things that I learned through many of our discussions, and you'll have your own takeaways, but here are a couple of mine. First of all, I thought our Minister of Finance, Nate Horner, got us off to a good start when he said he saw the value of all of us coming together to discuss important market matters. I thoroughly enjoyed spending a few minutes chatting with Peter Tsirtsakian. That's always time well spent. And I think his call to action to get engaged and the need for Canada to develop economic policies that work for all regions of the country and then to advance them with confidence was clear and compelling. The panel on our artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies was, I thought, certainly insightful. So often I find the discussion on AI to be abstract or general, but in my view, I thought this panel really conveyed highly understandable and practical advice on how to consider adopting AI in our various businesses that touch upon the capital markets. Every year at ASC Connect, I learn more about the work that so many entrepreneurs are doing here in Alberta, and our conversation led by Tanya Fleming was insightful and opened up my eyes to what's possible through innovation. It was so refreshing to hear our panelists' enthusiasm for all of the positive initiatives that are occurring in Alberta's startup ecosystem. And let's just hope that this gives birth to our next generation of unicorns. The discussion on Denise Weir's panel of public versus private markets, let me just say it served up so much food for thought, and dare I say, with a healthy amount of hot sauce. I think I'm going to leave that one there, and you'll be able to pursue that discussion over the social hour. And certainly at the end, always interesting to hear from our leadership group at the ASC about these efforts on investor protection, regulatory and enforcement efforts to protect investors. I'd like to thank our moderators, our panelists, for joining us today to share their perspectives and their knowledge. These really, in my view, are insightful conversations because of their contributions and their willingness to share with us in such an open fashion. In honor of the contributions of our speakers, we will be making a donation in their names to the United Way of Calgary and area. This conference is valuable for us. Our ability to foster these conversations are really key to us remaining a practical and intelligent regulator. If you have questions or input, we do encourage you to keep an open dialogue with us. Additionally, this afternoon, you will have received a short survey via email about ASC Connect. Please consider sharing your feedback about today's event. We look forward to hearing your thoughts. And one final thanks, I'd really like to thank the ASC event and the Hudson teams. You all did a terrific job hosting us, planning a terrific agenda, and keeping us on track. Could you all please join me in a final round of applause for our speakers, panelists, your engagement, and our event and venue teams. And now the fun truly begins. We're ready to host you just outside these doors for a cocktail reception. I hope you will join us. Thank you so much for being here.